Tevela! Is she here? Tevela! Not in the kitchen. What about over here? Tev? Tev! Don't tell me she's sleeping again. Tev! Little vampiric bloodsucker, always asleep during the day, and I sweat. Oh.
Huh?
Oh.
Oh my god, Strife, do you seriously never knock on the door?
Knock. What doors? There are no doors in your house, Tev.
How about the front doors, the ones you just came through? You could knock on those.
If I knocked on the front doors, it would imply that I don't have the authority to be here, which is obviously not the case. What are you putting armor on for?
Because I need to leave, so you need to be quick.
Be quick about. What are you gonna do? Go on a magic adventure for new silk pants with like +5 seduction or something?
+5 seduction? I didn't need seduction to speak with your employees now, did I? That was easy.
Oh, Tev, we actually need to discuss that. Why on earth would you become a labor representative for a bunch of peons like that? It's absolutely ridiculous. Do you have any clue how inconvenient it's been for me? Also, because of what you've done, I have been forced to actually reduce your debt reduction.
And you can't do that, Strife. I don't have time for this.
What do you mean you don't have time for this? I'm the most important person in the room. Why would you do such a thing to me?
Because you deserve it.
What? Tev, do you have any idea how much time, effort, money, and peace of mind I have lost because of having to bow down to worker demands and their unreasonable sky-high expectations of what life is supposed to be? I can't be handing the world to them on a silver platter.
Sky-high unreasonable demands, huh? Let's take a look at these demands, shall we?
Whoa, wait, what do you have there?
The first one is shelter with heating.
You are misrepresenting.
See. Number 2 is open and available accessibility to fresh and healthy food.
Their rations were perfectly fine before that.
The next one is the ability to protect themselves from pillager scouting parties.
I swear, it's not as dangerous.
And then the next one, beautification of their living area, sky high, unreasonable demands. A little lordling is running his business so badly that a union formed.
Oh, Tev, no, you will not leave. You will not leave, you hear me? Okay.
Strife, what? Whoa, what's that?
What's this? This is my undead hunting axe, and it has smite 5 on it so it can bite, so do not try to leave the house.
Okay, right, whatever, but what is it made of? I've never seen this before.
Oh, did you not know? Tev Strife Solutions is always on the up and up. This represents the newest breakthrough in metallurgic scientific research. It's called netherite. It's extremely hard, extremely rare, and it has an incredible edge, so don't cross me.
How much landscape did you tear up to get all of this then, huh?
Oh, more than enough, Tev. More than normal. Right in line with Strife's solution mining operations for every last single piece.
Wow.
So do not cross me.
Whoa. Whatever. Okay, Strife. What did you come here for?
Good. I finally have your attention. I came for dye. White dye specifically.
You came here for white dye? All of this for a little bit of dye?
Well, you weren't giving me the time of day and paying attention to me. I have to be the center of it.
Okay. If you need dye so badly, there is some down here in the basement. It's the barrel on the bottom. You can't miss it.
Oh, just there in the basement.
Yes, right down here in the basement.
Oh, well, that simplifies things greatly.
All right, take what you need. I will invoice you later.
I'm not paying for anything. Hello everyone, my name is William Strife and welcome back to Strife Solutions. As you can see, I'm out here at the Solution Tower and I'm just kind of enjoying the way that things have been improved around here. The grounds are complete. Well, I don't know that I would call them completely done. This is the boilerplate, quote-unquote, finished state of it. It's got some nice trees, lampposts are in, there's a wall so that you can't fall off of the platform anymore. Also have some stairs leading down to the creeper platform, which has been covered by dirt and grass, which, I mean, I kind of like the way that everything looks right now. I don't know what I'm going to use this satellite platform for at the moment. I mean, it's serving its purpose as a creeper spawner. We'll see whether or not I can think of anything to put on here at some point, but I mean, I'm certain I can think of something to put out here at some point, but for now, this is as good as it's going to get. So, there's that. But here's the thing, guys. As nice as the grounds around the tower are, it is not the reason why I'm here. Like, the main work of why the Solution Tower was built needs to begin now, which is basically the research of what exactly happened to the world and whether or not what I believe was a resonant cascade was actually a resonant cascade. So in order to look into what happened to the world, it means that my first step on that track is moving the Nether Portal, which is today's task. I have to move the Nether Portal. So if I just come down here, this is the portal that auto-generated whenever I initially built a portal over in the Nether to get to the site for the Solution Tower. Now, in order to get this job done of moving this portal properly without having any problems, it's necessary to understand the science behind portal mechanics and everything. So not everybody is an expert at this. I, of course, am. I am the CEO of a company, after all. But I need to get into the weeds of how these portals operate, how they connect to one another, etc. So we're going to discuss that right now. The first thing to understand is that the Nether is 8 times smaller than the overworld. For every 8 blocks of movement in the overworld, there is only 1 block of movement in the Nether. This is the reason why I build the Nether Highway. It means that it's possible to connect very far apart locations in the overworld in a relatively smaller distance in the Nether. So, as a result, what I do is I build portals roughly 300 blocks apart in the Nether, and then I build new portals in the Nether, and then they send out and they basically generate brand new portals in the overworld. So this is what is important to know, okay? Whenever you go through a portal, there are coordinates, okay? There are coordinates whether or not you're in the Nether or you're in the overworld. In the case of this portal, its location is roughly -263, -9,709. So, as you can see, the X, Y, Z coordinates and the X and the Z coordinates are the only ones that matter. The Y does not matter. So this portal is at roughly -260 and -9,700. So what happens is whenever you go through the portal, there's a calculation. Whenever moving from the overworld to the Nether, the coordinates of your location are taken and they are divided by 8 to get a precise location in the Nether. So then, your location in the Nether is determined, and then there is a search area around that location of roughly 30 blocks. So you move over, and the portal system searches 30 blocks around for an existing portal. But if you're moving from the Nether over to the overworld, what happens is it takes your coordinates and then multiplies them by 8, finds the same corresponding block in the overworld and searches 250 blocks around. So that means there's a wider search area here in the overworld than there is in the Nether. This is the reason why I build portals in the Nether and then I let new portals auto-generate in the overworld. So the portal in the Nether, I had to move it back 1 or 2 blocks, so it is essentially unmoved, meaning that this portal is basically point 0. And as we already saw from the coordinates, it's sitting at roughly -260. Now I'm going to be moving the portal in that direction, so the X is the only coordinate that matters. But here's the deal. While the search area is 250 blocks, that is the total area with the portal at the middle. So another way to put it is that this portal can be moved and still work, in theory, if it is moved no more than 125 blocks in any direction, north, south, east, or west. So from negative 260 to the other side of the platform is where I basically want to move this thing. So let's go ahead and check that right quick. Okay, I'm on the other side of the solution tower here, and if I bring up coordinates, I'm now at roughly I'm at negative 200. So I have moved roughly 60 blocks, and that is within the range. That's about half of the range that I have to move. So it's okay for me to move basically another 60 blocks in that direction. Everything will be just fine. But the point that I have is the portal needs to move basically underneath this forest, not too much further in that direction. And moreover, it needs to be in a self-contained chamber underneath the tower. This is another part of the solution facility and everything. It's not just about the upper floors, it's also about the lower floors. We'll get to those someday, but not today really. So what I basically need to do is come over here, open up the elevator shaft for the basement, dig down to, I don't know, roughly a height of 50, dig a tunnel out this way, and then build the actual room that the portal is going to be contained in so that I can establish all of the tech equipment necessary for monitoring the portal itself and, listening for disruptions in the field array and, understanding the interdimensional manipulation. And, well, it's complicated, but that's essentially what needs to be done, because I already have the distances calculated of what I need to do. All that remains left to perform is to move the portal itself, which starts with digging the elevator shaft down, then another hallway that way, and then a room at the end of it. So it's going to be kind of quick and dirty, but let's get started, shall we? So like I said, the very first thing that I had to do was actually dig the entire elevator shaft down to roughly level 50, and I actually had to do this twice because I needed an up and a down shaft. It was more tedious than normal because I had to actually pave the walls so they looked nice as well. But once I was down to the bottom, I made a basic elevator block and I dug the long tunnel, which is more tedious than it is difficult, especially whenever you end up with netherite equipment that digs as fast as it does. The only way that it could have been faster is if I set up a beacon, but I wasn't about to do that. With the hall dug, I got to the actual room, then I started digging it, and I realized, oh yeah, I have to put white concrete into the ceiling, because from the very beginning, I knew that I wanted this entire room and the hallway to be made out of white concrete, so side shale and its concrete production coming in real clutch there. So I didn't bother with putting, proper concrete on the floor. I ended up just using powder first. And then once the entire room, the floor and the ceiling were done, I just had to dig out the walls and put the white concrete in there. I decided to light the room up with end rods and flank it with quartz stairs, specifically because it makes it look very corporate and sterile, if you will. It kind of looks like fluorescent lighting. With the main room done, I just had to go back and do the exact same thing, strip the ceiling, the floor, the walls for the hallway, and also make the elevator block look fancy. Just a little bit more before all of my stuff is fixed. Oh, hey, that was more than enough. Okay, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. That means all of my, that means all the work is done. All the work is done. Now all I need is to put in the actual portal in the basement. But, okay, so before I can do that, I need to come out here and I need to actually deactivate the old portal at the bottom of the platform here. So let's just go ahead and remove this. And there we go, old portal deactivated. Well, here's to hoping that this goes off without a hitch. I won't remove the entire frame until I know that this is actually ends up working. And also, I'm going to be so happy to be able to say goodbye to this scaffold tower. It's been such a pain to come through a portal that's been on the ground and then have to climb this tower to get back up to the solution, just to the worksite in general, but... for that matter, there needs to be some sort of a way to get back up to the platform proper, because an overland route, a main road, will eventually come out here. It's going to be a long time before that happens, so I have plenty of time to figure out how exactly people are going to be able to get to onto the top of the platform from the ground, but, well, just thinking forward, you know? forward thinking and all that stuff. But for right now, what I need to focus on is actually getting the portal in place. So let's just hop down to the basement, shall we? Whew. Such a long fall. And as you can see, the underground elevator block is basically a mirror of the top block. The primary difference between this lower section and the upper section is the concrete versus the terracotta that flanks the yellow. So the center is yellow glazed terracotta. That's the same as on the upper floor. But down here, the concrete is black, and the terracotta flanking the yellow is red. So on the top floor, it's black glazed terracotta that's flanking the yellow, and the concrete is red. So that's just the way that it is. Also, I'm going to have to think a little bit about re-engineering the elevator block, because just like how this elevator block upstairs exists, but its focus is on raising you to each additional level up. Meanwhile, this lower block, its main focus is dropping you down to new elevator levels, so it can't work quite the same way, but it does open up the ability for me to have tons and tons of underground that I don't have to properly build, if you will. You know, if you want more space inside of a structure on above ground, you have to build it. Whenever it's below ground, you just dig it, and it makes it a whole lot more secure. Also, I love how absolutely clean this underground looks. But that's enough about that. Let's go ahead and actually put the portal in here, which basically involves me removing all of this... Oops, didn't mean to do that. It involves me removing all of the granite and andesite, which I specifically put granite and andesite in here for the express purpose of being able to know exactly where the portal is supposed to be, and not have to second guess myself, be like, oh, okay, should it be there? Should it be there? Basically, a portal that was a little bit closer to the back wall than the front was all that I was looking for. Moreover, on a secondary note here, I discovered that crying obsidian is something that you can get from piglins in the Nether. Now, the new denizens of the Nether, since the little portal incident there and what I suspect was a resonant cascade, they're temperamental and they're difficult to work with, but so long as you're wearing gold, you don't try to loot any sort of a container and they never catch you trying to dig up gold, they are rather... I mean, they're amicable, and you can work with them. So you can give them gold, and they might give you crying obsidian, which I'll admit, crying obsidian is a little bit strange because it's obsidian and it is wet, which is a little bit disconcerting. But I've experienced worse things in my life, so. And moreover, because it's just like its physical properties don't seem to be all that different from normal obsidian, so I can get away with, you know, using it to stabilize the portal by putting it in the corners. In general, I find that Nether portals are a lot more stable whenever you infuse something into the corner. Iron being a safe one, gold obviously not being a safe one, and to this end, I believe the crying obsidian is just the same, and I think it gives it a nice little flourish, if you will. So, enough about that, though. Let's go ahead and just light this thing on fire, and... well, it's working. Well, here's to hoping that this works without a hitch. There's only one way to find out. Here we go. Oh, it worked! Oh, happy day, it worked, oh, it worked, oh, without a problem, oh, look at this, oh, and if I come right around here, oh, all my barrels are in place, well, some of the barrels are a little bit empty right now, but it appears that everything is right where it's supposed to be. Oh, the tunnel down to the... the little blasting area that I was working in. It's all here. It's perfect. This is exactly the way that it's supposed to be. I'm in exactly the spot in the Nether where I'm supposed to be. This is fantastic. Oh, happy day. Oh, all of my portal calculations, they worked. The interdimensional linkage has remained perfect, and it is unblemished, and I'm so happy. Okay, let's go ahead and just hop right back through here. All right. I mean, this is fantastic. I couldn't ask for a better outcome. This is the two portals are linking together perfectly and beautifully. I mean, The project couldn't have the project could not have had a better outcome. Actually, a better outcome, I don't think it's fathomable to have a better outcome than what I got, because not only do the two portals link together flawlessly without problem or incident, but also in the process of digging this entire underground facility, or this entire underground section of the facility, I never ran into any major caves, which has been a problem ever since the Cascade. Large, enormous underground caverns have been appearing across the landscape. Just places where, you know, the roof to the floor of this place is like 40 blocks, you know, 40 meters from the ceiling to the floor. And just, I didn't run into any of that. I didn't run into any, you know, like worm spaghetti-like caves. I didn't run into any abandoned mine shafts. I didn't run into any ravines. By the sounds of I'm getting a bit of Enderman sound right now. It appears that I missed a couple of small caves around me, and I'll have to be certain to look around to find them and either light them up or block them so no mobs can show up in them. But other than that, it looks like the underground underneath the tower is it's ready for expansion with limited trouble of running into caves, which, you know, basically disrupt the actual underground building process. And I'm loving the way that this place looks and how clean it is with this white concrete, which is going to be the primary challenge when expanding the underground, just finding enough concrete. And I'm going to continue to have to deal with Tevela in the process of getting white dye, because she, whether I like it or not, she does have the infrastructure to generate lots of white dye. You know, speaking of Tevela, why was she in such an enormous hurry to leave her manor that she couldn't give me the time of day? She's already caused a lot of trouble for me, and I'm rather worried about what type of adventure or trouble she's getting herself into right now. I hope it doesn't come to bite me somehow.